So in this video we're going to look at cumulative frequency, drawing the graph, finding the quartiles and drawing a box plot. So I've been given some ages of people who live in a particular road, and I've been given some frequencies for the age. So there's 5 people who are between 10 and 20, 12 between 10 and 20, 13 between 20 and 30, and so on. Now cumulative frequency takes into account how many people there are up to the last number in the interval range. So the first two will be exactly the same because the number of people aged up to 10 is 5. In the next place though it's different, because what we're asking now is how many people in the street are aged up to 20. So that includes the 5 that were aged up to 10. So it's 5 plus 12 gives me 17. So the next number that goes here has got to be the number of people in the street who are aged up to 30. So it includes the 17 we already know who are aged up to 20 and the 13 that are 20 up to 30. So 17 and 13 makes 30. So if we carry on now, so that's 30 and 15 is 45. 45 and 11 is 56, and 56 and 4 is 60. Now, a little check to do to make sure you've got it right is that these two numbers should be the same. The total frequency should be the same as the total number of people aged up to the end of the interval, aged up to 60. So 5 and 12 is 17, and 13 is 30, 15 is 45, 11 is 56, and 4 is 60. So that's good. So now we want to plot the cumulative frequency. And when we plot coordinates, always think of plotting coordinates as x against y. Your cumulative frequency is on the vertical axis, so that's like your y-score, and your age is on the x-axis, so that's our x-score. So we've got to plot the end, the end of the interval, because what we're saying is that there were 5 people aged up to the age of 10. So our first point we plot is 10, 5. So there's your x and there's your y. So 10, 5. Now it's a bit rough and ready, this graph, so bear with that. Obviously in examinations and in tests the grid is given to you. So the next point is 20 and 17. 20 and 17 is about there. The next point is 30 and 30. So there's my 30 and 30. 40 against 45, round about there. 50 and 56, about there. Okay, now we're using 5 intervals between 50 and 60, so 56 would have been on the third. Okay, so sometimes you have to be quite careful to know exactly where to plot it. And finally we've got 60 with 60 there. Now it's normal to draw a curve with a free hand through the points, not to use a ruler. So we would have gotten in an exam a mark for that, and we'd have got 2 marks for plotting the points correctly. If we want to find the quartiles, we've got to find the median, we've got to find the lower quartile, which we'll call quartile 1, and the upper quartile, which is quartile 3. Now, when you're using cumulative frequency, usually the numbers are sufficient for us not to worry about those fiddly formulas where we add 1 on to find the median. All we're going to do is take the number of scores, which is 60. The median will be half of it. The lower quartile will be half of that, and the upper quartile will be the 2 added together. So these are not the values, these are the positions. So the 30th score is the median, the 15th score is the lower quartile, and the 45th score the upper quartile. So if we go to the 30th score, the scores are here, that's the 30th score, and we come down and we are coincidentally at age 30. So this is the position and this is the value of x, 30. If we go to the 15th score, which will be, there were 5 divisions between the third, we come across there, and that will come down to, and it looks about 16 or 17. And then if we go to the 45th score, we come through here, across. You can actually draw these lines. Actually, it might be better if I showed you that. Okay, so we're drawing that line from here. Take a ruler, perhaps is even better practice really than what I was doing by freehand. And we've got the 45th score coming across and down to 40. Okay, so we have got all the quartiles there. Now if I want to draw a box plot, I'll put that in. If I want to draw the box plot of this information, we don't actually know, because of the way the information is presented in the table, the lowest and the highest scores. So we have to take the highest and lowest possibilities for the box plot. So the highest possibility could have been up to 60. So we'll take 60. It could be, I know I haven't set an equals to there, it could be 59.9998, so we'll take 60 to plot it, and the lowest score could be 0. So the box plot then, you start off with the two ends, the lowest and highest. You then come up to the quartile, then you plot your median, and then you plot your upper quartile. You draw your box around the middle, 50%. Okay, and then box and whisker, it's often called the whiskers, go out to the lowest and the highest. It's all done on a proper scale. That scale would be given to you. So that is how to do cumulative frequency, plot the graph, find the quartiles, and do your box plot. If we were dealing with, say, a different value of n, say n for example was 100, and our graph would stretch out to 100, and our positions would be 50, 25 and 75, and then we would just read off. So where do people go wrong? Generally speaking, plotting the frequency against the midpoint, because we do that for other statistics. We do that when we want to find the mean, for example, from group frequency. But for cumulative frequency, you've got to plot your cumulative frequencies, should I say, not frequencies, your cumulative frequencies against the end point. Okay, so remember to plot your CF against end of interval. It's the most important bit of advice I can give you on that. Okay, so you've got your X and your Y, so end of the X interval against CF. If you remember that, you won't go wrong.